Hello, I'm Aaron, base straight A student, always loving up life, and in ninth grade exam season, I wanted to get good grades. And around that time, I was struggling to stay on top of studies. I was pulling in long hours, long nights, and barely got any fruit for my labor. My other areas in life which I liked, like self-improvement, the gym, also started getting stunted because I was putting in so much of my time and effort into studies. Around that time, AI was rising. ChatGPT was like first around, it was like 2023 around. And I started hearing about people using AI and shorts online about telling you how to use it. And so I tried to use it for my studies and see if it would make a difference. Back then there was only one good AI like ChatGPT. It's still really good now, but I wasn't sure how to leverage it properly. And it became so that it was more like a trial and error. Using AI was supposed to like simplify my studies, but it felt like a fucking science experiment because I was just trying different things, and that like affected my grades because I didn't know like what kind of system and how to actually use it in a smart and auspicious way. It was so bad that once I was actually caught using AI, that we had like an SO assignment. So SO is basically like the geography, history, religion, all those bullshit subjects in the Swedish curriculum here. And in SO, we had an assignment to do like some worksheets. And of course, I used AI for all of them. But since back then I didn't know how to use it properly, a few weeks later when we got our results for it, the teacher wrote like 99%, the first sentence of the feedback was 99.9% AI. So, I mean, it was a girl. She caught my, AI stunts on that assignment, and I ended up having to redo it. And turns out that even lowered my grade, like my final grade of ninth grade, because of that stupid little AI thing, because I didn't know how to use it properly. So that sucks. So I needed to improve how I used AI, because otherwise, not only would I get bad grades like the SO example, I would also like backtrack in my other pursuits in life. I would also have lots of stress from like just, everything just falling down. Over my time of experimenting and trying out different things with AI to make studies more efficient and effective, I came out with this like outline, which led me to using AI like ChatGPT in a high ROI way, and in a way that doesn't get caught. So the time that I put in, it has a high return on investment, meaning that I get much more value for the time that I do put in using AI. And that led to me scoring pretty well on my final exams in ninth grade, which determines your gymnasium, which is like your high school in Sweden. And it was enough to get into the gymnasium of my choice. So I achieved my goal of getting into Kungsholmen Gymnasium. And more than that, I got first-hand experience that hard work doesn't have to be time-consuming and so much effort. If we know how to approach it correctly and we go about things in a high ROI way and do like the right things and do more of them, then hard work will feel like almost like play to us. And since then, I've gotten very good at using AI for my studies so I can score well on my exams, and it's like a very simple thing that I follow like every single time. There are 5 main steps which I repeatedly use when I use ChatGPT for my exams and my studies. And the first one is to feed it as much info as possible. The more detailed you are when you're writing a prompt to like ChatGPT or I think Copilot, Gemini, and other like chatbots, the better. The more detailed you are, the better the chatbot can actually help you. So let's say like you have an English essay to write, and the teacher has given out like a prompt for you, like instructions, like write a formal letter to about and these are the abstract themes that you have to include. Instead of just giving like a vague prompt to ChatGPT to try and get what you want to copy and paste the exact thing and give as much information and detail as possible to ChatGPT so that it can output as close to your visions as possible. That was something that I wasn't doing in ninth grade. I was just being kind of oblique with it, which was not really that auspicious. So be as detailed as possible. You want to basically input as much fucking information as possible so that your hands literally start hurting. That's how much you want to type into ChatGPT to get like a really good response. And recently they added like this infinite memory feature to ChatGPT, which is fucking great. It's so good because it just keeps whatever you say in its memory, and it can just pull from it anytime. It's one of the best features that is added, and it really makes this step even more powerful. The second step that I do is to get feedback from it. Feedback is one of the most important things when it comes to improving like any craft in general. Like an example is like when you're working with YouTube and you want to grow an audience and stuff, one of the like sayings that they have is like content is king, feedback is queen. Content is like the actual stuff that we're producing. For the YouTube world, it would be YouTube videos. For studying, it would be like the English essay that we just talked about. Feedback is actually how we, take what we have written and use it to improve for the next time. Feedback is queen. So if we consider like the English essay example that we were talking about, once you have written like your essay after you have like gotten inspiration from ChatGPT or whatever, then you can ask it to grade you. You can say like, this is my essay, can you grade it? Can you tell me of improvements that I can make? And you can even implement the first step into this, so you can be more detailed in how you ask for feedback. Like, let's say that your teacher is looking for like some kind of specific thing. Like, let's say that she has posted a criteria or something like a C level, E level, E level, C level, A level, and you can just paste that into ChatGPT and say whether it 100% fulfills these criteria or not. But you can imagine how powerful it is, right? Like literally getting almost like a teacher, or better than the teacher in this case, ChatGPT, to grade it for you before the real teacher does. So you can spot out like all the mistakes and the errors and improve on it. Relating to that, the third step is to ask it for high ROI things you can do to improve. If we want to make the progress in our studies, and not only in our studies, for generally everything in life, we always want to be optimizing for the most high ROI things, or the most high return on investment, like I said. It's like most bang for buck things, the most value we're gonna get for the amount of time that we do put in. And bro, what better like option is there than to literally ask ChatGPT for it? And ChatGPT can use like its logical AI mind to find the highest ROI things, and it's not like misguided by any emotions or whatever. So it's really powerful, you can see. And let's say for the English essay example, after you ask it to grade it based on the criteria, you ask it for like high ROI things that you can do to improve your essay. And you can say like, write it in order of ROI. So it'll output the highest bang for buck things that you can do with your essay, and you can just follow all of them, and it will improve your essay or whatever, any assignment, a lot. If you want, bro, you can grab my free noting templates that are my personal ones that I genuinely use the most, and it will save you a lot more time. The fourth step is to ask it to find your constraints. A constraint is basically like a limiting factor or like a bottleneck. So your abilities can be like up to here. Like let's say the English essay, everything like, let's say the criteria was content, language, and structure, right? That's actually the criteria our English teacher uses. It's content, CSL, content, language, structure. Let's say your content and language was all the way up here. Like you knew like everything about the content. Let's say you're writing about a poem. You know the poem inside out. The language too, you were very adept, but the structure was like down here. Like you actually fucked up on the structure. Like there's no structure at all. It's just a random bunch of stuff. But the ideas and language are really good. The structure is then kind of like a constraint, meaning that no matter how good your language and content is, your overall grade is going to be like brought down to here. So what most people do is that they allocate their time and resources to the wrong thing by focusing on this thing on the top. And even if they increase it more, like above, their overall grade is still going to be down here, because this is the limiting factor. This is the constraint. And so instead of putting your energy up there, if you like direct it into your constraint, then improving this will improve your overall grade. So let's say like you weren't aware of some kind of, I don't know, some kind of grammar rule, and you, every single time that you wrote your essay, every single time you came across that grammar rule, you just completely missed it. And if you ask ChatGPT to find your constraint, it might say like, everything is looking good, like your content is up there, every structure is up there, everything is good, but you're missing like this huge like grammar thing which is throughout your essay, which just ruins the entire thing. So if you spend your time improving that, it will like shoot up your performance even more. And so that is something that I also wish that I did back when I was first using AI, to ask it to find my constraints. And finally, one of the biggest steps, step number 5, is to copy and paste correctly without getting flagged. This is why it fucked me over in 9th grade. This is why the kid said 99.9% AI, because I didn't implement this step correctly. So it's of vital importance that you actually take care of this. Basically, right, every single time you use AI to write an essay or write a script for something, you want to check it through an AI detector. The most common ones are GPT-0. GPT-0 is just, you can just search it on Google and it will come up. That's a really common one. In fact, I used GPT-0 in 9th grade and it got me like a 0%. Back then it wasn't as developed as it is now. And it said like 0%, so I thought it would be fine, whatever, and I handed it in. And apparently it was not, because the school used another AI detector, which was called Smoothing AI Detector. The name is pretty weird, but if you search it up, I think that it detects AI much better than the GPT-0 can. At least back in ninth grade it could. And after you paste it in into some kind of AI detector like GPT-0 and Modin, both of them preferably, you would, if you are gonna take like inspiration from ChatGPT, you'll find that no matter how hard you try to be original, it will still detect that, you know, like 50% of it is AI, 75% is AI. So the trick then is to find the sentences that are highlighted that are AI, and then to put them in Quillbot Paraphraser. Quillbot Paraphraser, but you can choose any other paraphraser that floats your boat. But I found Quillbot to be the most best one, and it's the one that I see everyone, like my friends, using too. So I go with Quillbot, and it's good enough. You paste in all the highlighted sentences that are detected to be AI, and it will basically rearrange the words, find synonyms, and paraphrase it, and then you can paste it back in. And you do that until, like, the AI detector is showing like very low numbers, like 25% or below, 20%, 15%, the lower the better. As long as it's not like something crazy like 50% or 75%, you should be fine, because teachers don't really care if it's like that low. And the last thing I just want to say is that AI is just a tool. Like, it shouldn't replace you. I don't really mind like school and studying. It's not that bad. It's kind of fun because you get to be with friends and study and stuff. And I also like using AI to make stuff more efficient and like to help me study more. And that's how you also should be like viewing AI. It should not like completely replace you, and you should like steal like an artist from AI, if that makes sense, if you know the book. And another thing that we all know helps in not only getting good grades, but also just generally living a good life is discipline, bro. Many of my friends have commented that I'm disciplined. If you want to learn more about that, then you can click here. If you haven't subscribed, just a reminder, do so. Come along for the journey. If you don't want to, that's alright, who really cares? As always, your potential is only limited by your intention. See you later, bro.